You're listening to Hayes Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.
Oh no, we'll get it.
Alright, everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, welcome back to another amazing Sunday with Behind the Leaf.
What's up, guys? We got some great guests here with us today, but before we jump into that, we just want to say thank you to our sponsors, Hember, for these awesome Das boots. Alec, if you want to pick it up, that's pretty cool.
710 for supplying some amazing products to put in this amazing glassware. Like, it's great. 710 provides some of the best products with their practices of clean, organic work. And if you want to learn more about that, go check out the link that we're going to put on all our episodes, and you can sign up for their green room anytime you want.
Mm-hmm. Also on our Instagram page at Behind the Leaf Pod. So our guests here today, we have All About Choices, and we have Shea, VP of Product Development, and Hadas Dewey, the COO. How are you guys?
We're great. Thanks.
Good. Happy to be here.
Glad to have you here. This is a really cool company. When we became familiar with the brand at MJ Biz, I was like, this is different. Like, this is changing the game here in like the edibles area. But if you guys just want to talk a little bit about yourselves and like how you made this transition into the cannabis space.
Sure. This is my first company I've worked with in the cannabis space. I was in the retail operations space beforehand. Kind of a little different, working from the finance side, working from the operations side, but I've always been intrigued by the cannabis industry. I lived in the Midwest before, so it wasn't as open to it as it is in California. It wasn't as accepted. It was hard to find almost, and was intrigued by it. Saw this really great opportunity with the Israeli tech company to incorporate. I grew up in Israel, so to incorporate kind of
that's interesting. Cool.
My growing up and my retail experience, and combine. I'm not a drinker. Weed is a much easier form for me. So like to combine those two things together, it felt like a great fit.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's funny that you mentioned like you're from the Midwest and the culture is different, because I feel like that's such a common theme on our show. It's like, yep, I totally get what you're saying. Like, we grew up on Long Island on the East Coast, so just like a different vibe when it comes to cannabis. And, we're slowly getting there, but, one step at a time, like with everything. But Casey, I know you were a Milk Bar chef, right?
Yeah.
Pastry chef?
I
That's
did
pretty cool.
work for Milk Bar. Excuse me. I worked for Milk Bar. My background is all in pastry. So, I went to culinary school, worked in restaurants, bakeries, kind of everything within the food world when it comes to pastry. And this is also the first time I've worked in cannabis.
Okay.
Cool. When I was younger, I used to have friends and coworkers constantly tell me, like, oh, you should really try infusing food and things like that. And I lacked so much knowledge about cannabis that I truly was always, my response was, I have no idea where I would even start. Like, I don't know how or how
I know,
many
I get that.
milligrams.
Especially when it comes to infusing too, because like I wouldn't know the first thing of like where to start, like what the methods are, anything.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely. I feel like that's a big issue for a lot of people making at-home edibles, is just that you're going to go online and be like, all right, first thing hit your mind is like, all right, I'm going to make like can of butter or something like that. And most of the time people just don't know what they're doing. Don't know what they're doing. They make it too strong, or they don't do it the right way, and they don't actually infuse any THC into the butter.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's a science. Like, you have to remember,
exactly,
there's science involved. You have to know what's happening. You have to know what the reactions are happening inside in order to be able to make the product. And that's why it's always such a hit or miss.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about it the other day, like, making a batch of brownies or whatever, and then all of it's just concentrated in one side. I mean, that's the worst. Then you got one person who's like out of their mind, and then, everyone else is just pretty
especially
mellow.
if it's somebody's first time, you can really turn them away from cannabis if you basically overdose them by giving them an edible that's too strong or anything like that. Because a lot of people like, oh, I don't want to smoke or anything like that because they think it's unhealthy. So you eat it and they give them something that's like homemade and it's way too strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think that has to do with the biggest stigma with edibles is the inconsistency. Like, you never know where you're going to get. A lot of times it's, will you get too high? Will it take too long? How long is too long? You take it, you're like 4 hours later, like nothing happened. All of a sudden, hour 5 comes, you're like, oh no.
No, yeah.
Like,
that's the thing I don't necessarily like about edibles is just like the waiting time. You know, it could be an hour, it could be longer than that. And I'm like, no, I'd rather have like, you know, the immediate. Yeah. I mean,
I think
most people are like that, I guess.
That's almost everybody's response when we start talking about edibles and our products. Every single person has a story basically saying, oh, you know, one time or the first time I tried an edible, it didn't hit me, so I took some more. And then before you know it, I'm on my back and I'm lost. And so people have still a lot of fear in edibles and distrust of them. Even in the regulated space where things are in dispensaries, there's still that hesitancy.
Yeah, definitely. I think I like the, you know, companies that are doing the more micro dosing like approach. Like we had Mike on here from Dulce. We always talk about his products and they're 2 milligram gummies. And I'm like, that's a good place to start because then you can just stack them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the approach that we took, you know, when we started Choices and when we were, we had this incredible technology that we know worked and is effective in pharmaceuticals and it's effective in nutraceuticals and agriculture, whatever it may be. We're like, how do we incorporate it in cannabis? How can the cannabis world enjoy it and benefit it? You know, it's pharma grade. It actually works. And you were saying with the effect is quick. It's about a 15-minute effect. So you're able to get high much, much quicker. And I know that a lot of times people truly just don't believe it. How do we educate the market of like, I promise it works, guys. Like,
it's like,
I'm not lying.
Like, it's always like, I always hear that. Then it's like it says on the box, like I'm sure like on the box of the 710 hash edibles we have on the table that it always says like it could take up to like 2 hours to feel or anything like that. So you're always sitting there, like you said, like you can be sitting there, you're like, it's been an hour and a half, I haven't felt anything. It's been 2 hours now, I haven't felt anything. Let me take more. Then all of a sudden, like hour 4 or 5 hits, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it just like hits you like a truck. That's not what you want.
And it's so difficult. And I think one of the beauties with Choices is that not only, I mean, Casey and her team were able to develop a line of edibles, they were actually fully backed by our R&D center in Israel of our parent company. That is an R&D center full of chemists and food scientists and pharmacists that are able to kind of guide us throughout this product development. And we've been developing these products for 2 years.
Wow. A long time.
We are really, really wanting to make it right because the edibles market needs it, you know. I have such a low tolerance. Give me 5 edibles, 5 milligrams, that is too much.
That's
for
me. Yeah. I agree.
And people like can't relate to it because, you know, you're in a store right now and the lowest dose that you can buy is the 100 milligrams. But yeah, sure, you can break off the piece and it's like 5 milligrams, but you never know what's going to happen. So one of the first things we did, we're like, how do we cater to that? And that's where we came up with the cookies and the crackers. Those were kind of the first products that are 2 milligrams each. And it comes in a pack of 5. So you have 10 milligrams in total, but you're able to microdose throughout the day. You're able to control your own experience. And, you know, if you are a higher dose consumer, sure, take all 5. They're great cookies. They're delicious. Casey makes them. But if you're a lower dose consumer, that's fine too. Take 1. Take 2.
Yeah, I think like being in control of like your experience like is the most important thing because like we said before, if you have a poor experience the first time, people are really hesitant to jump back in. And especially for people who had or continue to have like negative views around cannabis, it's like, all right, one bad time, then they're running to everyone they know. Oh, nope, don't do that, you know? So I think that's cool, but I wanted to talk about like the different boxes. If you want to pick one and just explain like,
we'll go through all of them eventually.
What the grouping is, like what's in there, what people can expect. Now, this menu here looks crazy extensive and awesome.
Everything from chocolates to drink mixes to confection.
There's mashed potatoes right here.
Mashed potatoes.
So you can get high off mashed potatoes. That's
lunch.
That's pretty awesome.
Lunch and getting high all at once.
Yeah, because we have so many products, like Hadas mentioned, like almost over 100 products to choose from. Launching into the space, that's a lot of information for a consumer. So we wanted to curate these kind of bundle boxes that give you a little variety in a centralized theme. So you can start to get a feel for the product, start understanding the different categories, which flavors you like, and kind of go from there.
Right.
So we're launching with 5 bundle boxes. They're all sort of curated and themed. We have our Flicks box, which is like a movie night. We have our Breeze box, which is for the beach or a pool day. We have the Chef box, which is really your like cooking at home box. Our Bliss box is our kind of chocolate assortment box.
Okay.
And then we have our collection box, which is kind of the signature all around everything, a little bit of
little taste of everything that
Exactly.
like everybody loves the most about all the
Yeah.
boxes. That's awesome.
My
like-
favorite is the Flex.
Yeah, the Flex.
Flex?
Yeah, because I love the popcorn spices.
Yeah, I saw
spices
that.
are fun.
When I first like looked up the company and I saw the different areas that you guys were hitting, I'm like, popcorn spices. I was like, that's crazy. I think it's really cool too because this makes your cannabis consumption like so normal. It's like
That's awesome.
integrating it into your like daily life. Now you have like this for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whenever you want it, and it's also in a subtle way that if you didn't want anyone to know what you were doing,
Yeah.
it's like
Exactly.
discreet.
It's in a small
Yeah, like
sachet.
the-
Throw it in your purse.
throw it
Yeah,
in your
exactly.
purse,
That's
take the
cool.
popcorn spice, go to the movies.
Yeah. Or,
There you go,
know,
halfway through your movie.
take a pack of ketchup because everything we do is single serve too. So it makes it really easy
Yeah.
for you to just apply it, like you said, anywhere in your day. Take a ketchup packet to a Dodger game and put it on your Dodger dog. You can kind of just do it anywhere and know exactly what you're getting every time.
And that's like the fun thing about choices. Like really, it's quite literally your choice. Like do whatever you want, like whatever
Like
you
ranch
want.
spice?
Enjoy.
That's
Throw them
wild.
on like avocado toast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
put it. You can put it on anything and everything, and that is really like the thought behind it. We want everybody's so different when consuming cannabis, and especially like people who are more on the kind of curious side. They've
Right.
never consumed. They've never
Oh, of
smoked a
course.
joint. They've never had an edible. You're like, I'm not really a gummy person. I'm not really chocolates. You're like, okay, but what did you have for breakfast? I can incorporate myself, I promise you, somehow into your breakfast, whether it's a hot sauce, whether it's a coffee, whether it's a spice for the eggs, whatever it is, there is a way for me to incorporate myself because we have wanted to kind of keep those options open. And that's why we keep the R&D moving. Like, yes, we've developed this 100 product list, but let me tell you, the list of R&D products currently right now is still growing because there's so many things out there and everybody's so different.
Like, and you have an endless supply of like food and whatever to pick from that you want to infuse. It's like there's no stopping you at this point.
Yeah, we
more
have-
boxes and more like. I like how it links to an experience too, because it's like, okay, cool, tonight I want to watch a movie. Just grab the box. Like how it's a great way to like market it to consumers.
Yeah, definitely. And especially like what you stated, like people who haven't consumed before, or in the older generation, people who have consumed when they were like teenagers and they were like, oh, I don't like the way it feels, or they're part of the Reagan era and they really don't know what to expect, especially walking into a dispensary. And like you said, you can get the chocolate bar that's minimum like 100 milligrams. But then you break a piece off, and that piece shatters into like 50 different other smaller pieces.
You're
and then
like, what's this small
you're like,
piece?
Yeah.
Wait a
2
minute.
milligrams?
Yeah.
Here it's like I open a packet and then like you don't have to worry about it. It's like that's what you need.
It also
right
goes
there.
bad. At the end of the day, you open it. If I'm buying 100 milligrams and I only need 2 to 4 milligrams,
That's
is
true.
majority of the bag goes to waste at the end of the day, especially if like you're coming in town and you're not staying somewhere for a long time. People are coming to LA and they want to just experience it. They want to have a one-time experience. The single serves really, really make it easier. They allow you to go ahead, enjoy your experience, and get a variety. Okay, cool. You like the crackers? Get all 10 flavors.
Right.
There's no reason not to.
And it's like you don't have to limit yourself with the single serving to buying like a whole eighth, and then you're stuck with it if you don't like it or you don't want it anymore.
Yeah, there's a variety in one box, so you get to try how many different things, which is really cool, and then see what works for you. I think the boxes too, like, I mean, it looks cool, and then the contents we spoke about, but like, I don't know, I just think it's such a game changer, especially for people who also like don't necessarily like the smell, the smoke, like he was saying. It's just like a completely new way to incorporate it into every day.
So, where do you guys see the most popular boxes or flavor, or like what do you see people?
It's
going
so
for the
funny.
most?
What we thought,
Or what are
was
your
going to-
favorites?
what we thought was going to be the most popular. So we went Cauliflowers last year was our first time to the market, kind of showing what we do and who we are to the cannabis industry. And we came in thinking like, oh, people are going to like the pot spotch, which is kind of like our take on a pop rock, or the drink mixes, or the crackers. People's favorite products were
The mashed potato.
The
mashed potatoes and the mushroom soup.
Yeah.
mushroom
Heavy
soup.
hitters. Heavy hitters.
Mushroom soup. I can see the
That's
mashed potatoes
interesting.
with the mushroom
People
soup.
went
That's
crazy
interesting.
over the mashed potatoes and the mushroom soup. And it was funny because when we were developing, there were some people that felt very strongly about the soups.
We did not.
And we did not.
We tried to kill it.
We were like, who is going to
You're like,
eat a
nah,
cannabis
this is
soup?
not gonna work.
Yeah.
Who's going to
Yeah.
want to have
It's kind of
cannabis
funky.
soup?
I can see why you'd be like, eh.
You're like, is there a market?
Yeah.
But
There's a market.
true to the mantra
There's a
and true
market.
to like the company, we're like, it's all about choices. Whatever they want it,
There'll
we'll
be
do
people
it.
that want it. Yeah.
They want it.
Someone
And then
will.
we get there, and everyone's asking for the mushroom soup.
That's awesome.
And it was eye opening, and it really like reiterated the choices mantra and the choices aspect of everyone's so different, and there is such a big market gap right now in the edibles industry of people are craving different types of foods, just
Yeah.
like you walk into a 7-Eleven and you grab whatever snacks you like. We're trying to create this sort of feeling of a 7-Eleven of edibles, of there's savory to sweet to chocolates to pop rocks, to really anything. It's your choice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what are some more of the products that you guys have in your body? We mentioned the mushroom soup. We mentioned the mashed potatoes, the pop rocks, the
Some of my favorite are our popsicles. So we do a freeze pop.
popsicles.
That essentially, it's
Ooh,
liquid at room temperature. You get it, you throw it in your freezer like an Otter Pop.
Like any other ice
this is
pop.
like
Yeah,
an-
that's
Exactly.
awesome.
like an adult, like those like rainbow popsicle things, like they used to give you at like
Yes.
camp or like school or some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
That's
Throw it in
awesome.
your freezer.
Yeah, because they make alcoholic ones I've seen, but they never freeze right.
Right,
I
because
feel
alcohol will
alcohol
suppress
won't.
the
Yeah,
freezing
yeah, it
point.
really doesn't want to freeze. So that's awesome. That's
That's
great.
really
I really
cool.
want. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I mean, like, there's like an endless amount on here. I mean, and the flavors are wild. Like, how long? I mean, I know you said you've been developing for 2 years, but like, what, when it comes to flavor, like, or, yeah, I guess developing like what you want to infuse or whatever, like, what goes into that choice?
It's incredibly collaborative. So the entire team, we sit down, we brainstorm together, we talk about, things that we like to eat,
Right.
what's possible. We've learned, I think, through the soup experiment that there really isn't a bad idea when it comes to product development. We're going to try it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, especially with food, someone will eat it.
There's a market
Like
for
And
it.
Casey will
like
make it.
People out there will. Someone will like it.
And Casey will make it. I've been astonished at the things that come out of these meetings. And Casey's like, all right, we'll find out if we can do it. And somehow happens.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Like going from a more like traditional, you said pastry chef route, and now doing this. Like, what do you find the differences are, and like what do you love about this specifically? That change.
So this is slightly different in that, these are
The pop rocks.
Those are my favorite products. I just gave them to try.
Oh.
My favorite
That's
out of
awesome.
all the product
You gotta try
line.
these.
You want to try some? Is the pot spots. Our tropical citrus pot spots is my
Those are
absolute
awesome.
favorite. It is
flavor is
sweet and
fantastic.
tangy. That's all Casey, but
Flavor's
it is.
fantastic.
It
'Cause
is.
you don't
you don't feel the
wouldn't know-
cannabis.
Yeah, you would never know that there's cannabis in there.
And that
Right.
is all thanks to the technology, truly. Because I'm not
Wow.
working with distillate. I'm working with our
Yeah.
powder. So I don't touch oil. And because of the technology and the amount of canna powder that we use to achieve our potency, it's essentially flavorless. You're not getting a cannabis taste, which is also another reason why we're appealing to that canna curious market, because it's so off-putting for people who aren't used to cannabis, haven't consumed, don't enjoy the taste, the smell, to have products that don't taste like it.
We
Right.
joke in our
Yeah.
office that the only time that the office smells like cannabis is when the lab comes in to do pickups because they go to other companies before and they come in.
they
smelling-
come in smelling like it.
Yesterday, the lab came to do a compliance pickup, and somebody was like, "Wow, it smells like cannabis in here." I was like, "Oh, they're here again."
Like,
But
who is it?
truly, it's silly because we have a lot of people that work with our company that have worked for edibles companies and cannabis companies, and it's like we forget we work with a cannabis company because we use the canna powder, which is our active ingredient
Yeah.
that doesn't smell like
Yeah.
cannabis.
So for some of the people out there that doesn't understand the difference between like the cannabis powder you guys use and the regular distillate that's used in everyday edibles and stuff
Yeah.
like that, if you guys can explain that difference.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, Choices is backed by a technology called capsule technology. Capsule technology has a patented process that is a physical process that they take an oil and convert it into a nanometric water-soluble powder.
Wow.
Small words.
Nanometric.
Nanometric. A lot of things to think in, but in simple sense, you mix water and oil together, they don't mix naturally.
Of course.
We know that. This Israeli company has invented and patented a technology to allow them to mix.
Oh, wow.
So you're able to take the oil droplet on a nanometric level, you encapsulate it, and it is dried into a powder that then is equally dispersed. So a lot of times we're talking about how you make the pot brownie at home and you have the middle that has all the distillate in it.
Yeah.
It's not fully dispersed. With this powder and the ability for us to, be able to make these 2 milligram cookies is that each nano drop of oil is equal in size, meaning each gram of powder is going to be equal to the next gram of powder.
You got uniformity across.
Exactly.
Yeah,
across
consistency.
Exactly. So we're able to achieve a pharma grade dosing, a pharma grade consistency on a product with cannabis, which is truly groundbreaking.
Oh, yeah. In a medical field, which cannabis is medicine, I would say most people that consume it. Some people do use it for recreational purposes, but in a medical field, that's amazing to be able to claim that on a product is great.
And I think even further than that, it helps me as a consumer trust the product.
Right. Yeah. Because if you don't trust the product, you're not going to reach for it
Exactly.
again.
I know that they're using this technology in pharmaceuticals. If they're using it in cannabis, it's got to be good. It's got to be working.
That's the cookie.
Those are the cookies. Those are the
Definitely.
snickerdoodle cookies.
You got to take those away, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do the rest of the shows for today.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, that's really good.
I'm going to keep opening things.
I know.
Yeah.
But the
Gonna find
technology,
Cassie on the couch later.
and we were saying, we sit in these meetings and we go through a variety of product. Quite literally, everything you can think of has gone thrown out. Ice cream and popsicles and sprinkles and salt and really, truly anything that we eat and consume. And Casey is able to take all of those ideas and kind of work with her team and say, okay, can we make it? That's first of all. And then the second way, how do we infuse it? And then working with the R&D center in Israel and understanding how can we infuse it from a scientific level almost. At what point do we incorporate the powder? At what point does the infusion happens to make sure that it is
what's the best way you guys
homogeneous throughout the whole product,
incorporate it into your product instead of just throwing it in one way and just sticking with it.
And the coolest thing about this is that the emulsification happens in your body. So we said that this powder is water soluble. Your body is made out of 70% water. So when you're going ahead and you're ingesting our product, you're taking in our products, whichever one it may be, the powder is actually dispersing in your body. So the emulsification process that you see in a lot of products pre-infusion is actually happening in you. You are a vessel. So we're not just necessarily just here as a raw material. We're creating a delivery system. And that is why the effect is so fast.
Right.
So you're able to take it in. The emulsification happens in your body. 15 minutes later, you're feeling a little high.
Huh.
All right.
That's really interesting because I wouldn't know the first thing of how that even works. So it's nice to hear on that level, for anyone listening out there to understand that process. But creating a delivery system like that is groundbreaking, and especially in this space.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. So for the average consumer, how easy is it to use the products that people have to cook with, in the chef's box?
Oh my God,
and
it's
stuff
so
like that?
easy. One of the things that we focused on when we were creating those kind of products is that, first of all, we wanted to be a little nostalgic in that a lot of people's first experience with edibles was a pot brownie.
Yeah.
So we made a brownie mix. But since we're doing single serving, you know exactly what you're getting. We wanted to make it simple, so they're all microwavable.
Oh, okay.
So
that's even easier.
That's very easy.
So, you're going to make yourself a little mug
Because
brownie.
I know some people who can't even boil water for pasta.
Right.
Yeah, easy directions.
So it's add water, microwave, and then same thing with the mashed potatoes. It's add hot water.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the soups.
Add hot
So
water.
there's no excuse. You can use these.
Yeah, they're very
Anyone can.
accessible. You don't need a full kitchen. You don't have to turn your oven on.
Yeah.
Hot water. That's all it takes.
That's easy.
For the cake and the brownie, you need a microwave, but for everything else, hot water, which is easy because an angle that we didn't even think about and that a lot of people have told us afterwards was camping.
Right.
Take it camping. Take it for dinner.
That's genius. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, definitely. I used to go camping as a kid with the fam, with my dad and some really good family friends of ours, and we were kids at the time, but Yeah, I could totally see that because we used to bring things that were easy to make. You just add hot water. It wasn't that hard. And these do not take up a lot of space.
No.
You can really
Also,
bring it anywhere with
you
you,
can bring
though.
it anywhere.
Like,
Truly.
as long as you have access to hot water, you're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
People
Maybe
who,
a microwave.
Do the van life.
Oh,
could.
that would be
Oh, yeah.
You
awesome.
can live the van life.
There you
The
go.
van life.
We
You don't
thought
have to worry
about that
your
for a little
van.
bit.
You don't have to worry about your van.
I
smell
lived
either.
it.
Really?
Really?
I did a little bit before I started working for Choices. I worked for a corporate company, and due to the pandemic, we were working remote.
Right.
And my now husband and I were like, "Why live in Arkansas, where we can live wherever?" And we kind of got in the car and drove around, really trying to figure out what our next move was going to be, what city we wanted to live in, and it took us to LA. We ended up
Wow.
the trip here, so
That's
we stayed
awesome.
since. We've been here for 2 years, but
That's great.
it's a really fun life. And it's really nice when you have, especially when you have a job that allows you to do it and you have that kind of backing. But this product allows you to do it as well. I mean,
Right.
you can take it wherever you want, whether it's a baseball game or camping or even to the movies. I mean, I think we were talking a little bit about drinking earlier.
Yeah.
Right.
I was saying I'm not a big drinker. I was never into it. But our drink mixes, they're this big. Like, they're tiny.
Yeah.
Pop it open, throw it in some water. That's 10 milligrams. You could put half of it if you want for 5 milligrams.
Wow.
And we have over 10 different types of drink
There's
mixes.
coffee, hot
There is
chocolate.
coffee.
Wow. Lemonade. Pff, I mean, like, there's literally something for everyone on
Yeah,
there.
mint lemonade, strawberry, hibiscus.
Here, we'll make one of them.
Like, oh yeah, that's
That's really cool.
Give me a cup that's in my bag.
We're gonna like have too many samples of this, and like then later I'm gonna be like,
I know,
oh,
that's
no.
what
More
I
the
said.
merrier.
That's what I said before.
we had a meeting, and people always, we were talking about people don't believe us. Like it's a simple.
It's
as
like,
that.
let me show you.
But let
Yeah.
me show you. It doesn't taste like weed necessarily. It doesn't
Yeah.
have that aroma, the very heavy profile, which I think it also, like Casey was saying, it appeals to that kind of curious, somebody who is a little more
Right.
afraid or more hesitant to look into it. It's different.
Plus, I feel like in edibles, like in the past, and there's just some that the taste, like it doesn't taste very good. Like, why do I want to eat this? You know what I mean? Like, you can still have, there's that very much like cannabis flavor and like aroma, and I'm like, it's not for me. This is cool that you don't even have to worry
It's
about any of
tasty,
that.
like especially like all the spices. We haven't even dove into the spices, but
Yeah.
we have anything za'atar to a chili lime to a ranch or a chili flake or a
Wow.
Italian seasoning. You can just add that to your food.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
You're already eating.
I love cooking in general, and that'd
is
be
this?
great.
Strawberry kiwi. Strawberry kiwi.
That's really good.
Strawberry
yeah,
kiwi.
Alex, you gotta try that.
Let me see this.
All right, so like I'm just gonna get every single one of these and bring it home with me. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing, and how fast that the powder just dissolves.
dissolves. It
You don't get any grittiness at all.
Our powder truly is water soluble. You see a lot of different powdered products on the market that claim to be water soluble and dissolve, and it never fully dissolves. You kind of get a separation.
Yeah, or like that
something-
grit or whatever.
Yeah, no, our powder actually dissolves completely within the water. And the products just really speak for themselves. Another thing that I love about our products is that because everything is single serve, you can semi-microdose yourself, or if you are a heavy consumer, you can stack the products. You
Right.
know, you
Yeah.
can make a drink mix, you can double it up, but we also have ice
Have it as like your
cubes.
baseline throughout
The
day.
ice cubes. The ice
Oh,
cubes
the
are
ice cubes, that's cool.
Ice cubes.
Ice cubes. I think they're in here.
Let's see.
The ice
Box
cubes are similar concept to the freeze pops, where you're getting a liquid product and then you go ahead and freeze it. So
Oh wow.
it comes in a little ice cube tray,
Oh, very
4
cool.
cubes, 2.5 milligrams each, and then you just throw it in the freezer, pop it in your drink, whatever your drink may be, make a cocktail and enjoy it.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
That's
For
really cool.
anyone who
That's
wants
gonna-
to check out like more about It's All About Choices, where can they look? Where can
On
they go to?
Instagram, we're
Okay.
at choices.la. On online, we're It's All About Choices.us.
Okay.
So
Okay.
find us either way, but Instagram I feel like is the easiest for everyone.
Yeah,
So
usually.
is California
Choices
the
LA.
only market All About Choices is in right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I was saying, we really dove into making sure the product is right, and the product is
Right.
appropriate and like it's exactly where we want it to be. Our next step is to expand it to other markets, and we're looking at what markets those will look like in the United States. But yeah, that's definitely the goal. But currently we are manufacturing and producing and distributing in California.
Wow. Okay.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. This is definitely going to pick up because I feel like it's just so innovative. Like we were saying before, it's just so different, and it definitely like normalizes like cannabis use also, and like breaks that stigma, because we always say like a normalization before legalization. So I think that's like one of the most important things.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. Like we were talking on a past episode with a cannabis drink company, and I was saying that I think the cannabis food and drinks and stuff like that are going to be the first things we're going to see in like everyday society, like restaurants, and at like a sporting event, like you're going to the baseball game or a hockey game. Instead of going to the bar, you can go get a cannabis drink with like 10 milligrams in it or something like that, because it's something that nobody will know that you're doing.
Yeah, you got to make cannabis casual.
And it's normal. It's for everyday people, it looks normal. It's not like, it doesn't smell. It looks normal. You don't have to go outside. The person sitting next to you smells like weed or anything like that. You're just having a drink, just like the guy sitting on the other side of you drinking a beer. It's the same thing.
It's normalized to you because you're already so used to socializing in a beverage setting, right? I really think that beverages and hopefully more food. But I do think that beverages are such a big market and an easy way for people to enter the space and get accustomed to consuming cannabis and feeling normal about it.
Yeah, because like I feel like that's been a big battle in the cannabis industry, is normalizing and making people feel not weird or prejudiced when they do see cannabis out. Like I think that's why like the invention of like the vape pen was made. Why they started making like concentrates have been a thing for a very long time, but why it's become popular is that like it doesn't really smell that much, or if it does, it doesn't last that long, like smoking a joint or a blunt. And then they dived into more like technology and stuff, like the Dabex we have here. We had them on the show. It's a medical grade delivery device for vaping concentrates and all that. But like you never know. Sometimes I tell people it's a
what did you say?
It's an essential oil vaporizer.
And they're like,
no one would know.
No one would know. I mean, like you put oils in it, they're essential and it vaporizes. So.
And here's the thing is that if you know what that is, you know what it is.
Yeah.
If you have no idea,
you have no idea.
That's
you have no
okay.
idea.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like you have to go out now and buy the bong that looks like a vase so you can put flowers in it.
No, exactly. That's also like why we went with this branding. I mean, we wanted colorful, fun, exciting, clean. You know, I think you go into a store, you want to buy something that looks fun to you, that looks exciting to you.
Exactly.
And I think that was one of your first reactions when we walked into the studio with the bundles. They look fun. They look inviting.
They catch the eye right away. And that's what you guys really need in the dispensaries, because you're competing against these edibles that people are very used to. Very used to gummies. They're very used to brownies and candies and stuff like that. And they may be people may be hesitant at first in picking up like a product like a powder or something you make into your food, because they may be hesitant at first. But to be able just to add water or pop it in the microwave or something like that, you make it as easy as possible to take that worry out of that, and to make your product catch the eye of the consumer in there, because like it's hard to get in front of them, to get budtenders to recommend your products and get in front of the customers.
Absolutely, especially with edibles, people, because of the fear, they know what they like. They know what works for them. They're going to walk in and buy that same gummy every single time. They're not even going to look at anything else.
People, creatures of habit.
Yeah. So we know that we need to be overly appealing to the consumer.
Yeah. And we know it's a long road. And I think that once you try the product, it really does speak for himself, but it's really getting the product in people's hands. And once people try it, understanding the effect they have with it, the enjoyment they get out of it, and they have so many other ones to try. So you can use it however you want. It's really your choice.
So I know a lot of viewers out there are going to be asking, and a lot of cannabis consumers out there are really concerned about sourcing and the other ingredients that are maybe in these products. Like we talked a lot about the cannabis and how you guys have done that, but I think another important thing to touch on is like the quality of the other ingredients in the in the products you guys have.
I think what's really cool here is that apart from it being a patented process, it is a fully physical process. So it's a solventless process. There's no chemical reactions. We're not adding any solvents to the distillate itself. That allows us to keep the full genetic portfolio of the oil that we're buying. So we're not actually harming the oil throughout this process. It is a cold physical process. Casey can talk a little bit more on the ingredient side of the food, but from a raw material perspective, because we are a solventless process, we are kind of taking away from that.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome because like you're really keeping all the cannabinoids and terpenes intact.
You're not messing with that.
And it allows us to work with different blends of oils. You know, looking at the future, we're looking at working with different cannabinoids, CBN, CBG, THCV, and the ability to really keep that full genetic portfolio. When I say that, I mean, if I get 50 grams of distillate and I convert it into a powder, those 50 grams in that powder will have the exact same genetic portfolio.
Yeah. Wow. That's
There's no
important.
loss during the process.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. I don't know if you want to touch on the other like more ingredient side.
As far as our actual food ingredients, we only use reputable vendors. You know, since my background is in food, that's always my main concern is where's the food coming from.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of the big difference between what I used to do and what I do now is that, you know, I am used to working with very perishable items, right? Baked items they're not super shelf stable. They require refrigeration. And now I've pivoted into, you know, a consumer packaged good. So that's where our Israeli team that has chemists and food scientists have really supplemented and helped me understanding the other side about how do we make this shelf stable? How do we keep this safe for our consumer? How do we get the best shelf life out of this? So some of our products do have preservatives when they need it. You know, for example, our popsicles, because you can't keep a liquid at room temperature, like that. But we also do extensive shelf life testing. We work with, you know, food science labs to make sure that everything is totally stable and safe to consume. But products that don't need preservatives, we don't put them in, because we're not trying to, you know,
add anything.
Overwhelm.
You're not trying to overwhelm or add anything that really is unnecessary or doesn't need to be in there.
And everything is it's very flavor forward. I mean, every single thing you see here today, the team has tried multiple times and many different variations, and Casey has really worked through and refined to make sure it is the best tasting and best for the consumer as well.
Right. Because you want a product that looks good but also tastes good.
Absolutely.
So, would you consider these like vegan or vegetarian, depending on the product, or just all around?
Depending on the product, it varies. We do have products that are gluten free. We have products that are dairy free.
Okay.
We have some products that would fit into the vegan category. So it really just varies depending on the product. Not everything is vegan or gluten free, but we do have something for everybody.
Yeah, that's great.
I know making food, like dealing with different people's dietary restrictions and stuff like that, especially in like in the medical field that cannabis does loop into. It's a hard thing to account for on like a product line that you guys have so many of.
Absolutely. And because our parent company is in Israel, it was super important that we made sure we were using completely kosher ingredients.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So we also have that aspect
kosher.
into
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you have everything covered, like all the bases.
I mean, it's all about choices. Really is almost like a mantra.
I was gonna say that.
Everybody has
a choice.
choices, and because everyone's so different in life, everybody likes different things. Everybody has different things that are important to them, and to be able to cater to that really has been a fun experience. This is such a labor of love, and like Casey and I have spent many nights in the office trying to like break our heads on products and how can we make this better? How do we want this? Do we not want this? Is there a market for it? And at the end of the day, one of our biggest things is that we want everything to be carried. You know, a lot of companies are like, oh, we'll only do the confections or we'll only do the crackers. Or the power of choices and the power of the brand and of who we are is really the variety. Everyone's different. And everybody deserves to be able to walk into a dispensary and choose whatever makes them happy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like it's usually just the similar products and you don't feel like you have that much of a choice, but this completely unlocks the doors to spices, cookies, condiments, all this. Also, what are the shelf life for like the boxes? Like how long do they last?
About, I would say 90% of our products, they have a year shelf life.
Oh,
They're very shelf stable.
Very nice.
The only things that have a lower one are, you know, the freeze pops and the icicles, the freeze pops and the ice cubes. And those we're starting out with like a 6 month, but we are looking to, extend and continually running shelf life studies to
Everything
see.
else is a year.
A year. Wow, that's a long time. So you have time to try every single one.
Definitely. Yeah, no, these are not like those refrigerated chocolates or like confections you'll find in some of the fridge spaces that basically tell you.
Yeah, because
like 3
I always
months.
feel like that's always like a concern and always a confusing point with the shelf life of cannabis products nowadays. Because like some people will keep like that 1 or 2 bars of chocolates in their refrigerator for like a year or a year and a half, and it's like, you just look at it like, is this still good? You're like, yeah, it can't go. You really think like it can't go bad, but it can.
But you shouldn't.
Everything goes bad eventually.
Yeah.
And in the food industry, I feel like that's like a big thing. A lot of people think that things don't go bad when they do, like oils, stuff like that.
Right.
Like it does. You should be replacing that. You should be using that stuff quickly and replacing it often.
And that also leads into like the single serve, because you're not going to be resealing it and opening it and reclosing it and opening it. Once you open it, you have your serving.
Yeah.
You're going to consume it. Even if you're only consuming 1 cracker or cookie at a time, there's only 5 in there.
Yeah, because like I've seen like the powders that like kind of like a salt shaker in the dispensary before, like you're shaking on, but you're opening and closing it. It's more than 1 serving, like you said. And when air gets to terpenes and I'm assuming like to the powders and stuff as well, like it degrades that after a while.
Absolutely. Exposure to air, moisture, anything else going on around you, even though you think your home is a very clean and safe environment.
People out there like to think that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I think like to be able to just open it, use it, throw it away. Like, I mean, what's better than that? I like hate resealing things and then also having to worry about the shelf life. And here you don't have to worry about either one. So you're kind of eliminating that problem completely. Actually, there was something I was going to ask before, and of course now I'm blanking. Events. So are there any events that you guys will be at in the near future where people can like check out the product?
So we'll be a Hall of Flowers. So if you're in the cannabis industry, we'll be a Hall of Flowers in May. Other than that, we are currently gearing up for our retail launch. So stay tuned on our Instagram and on our website. So we'll release over there what stores the product will be in. And with that, we'll do our best, from a market education standpoint, customer appreciation, patient appreciation days, whatever it may be, for people to really get to know the world of choices.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a new world and it's needed, because I feel like this is going to appeal to a way bigger like group of people, different types of people. It's not just the traditional brownies or cookies or whatever that you're used to, which honestly don't have the greatest stigma associated with them either. So like more normalization, and I really want to try those mashed potatoes now.
Oh no, yeah, definitely.
Lunch today.
Lunchtime, yeah.
Definitely be trying those today again. And so we've been talking a lot about the products, but what made you guys pick cannabis? Like, this is like because like sometimes cannabis is a big passion for people. It's not just a way to make money or anything like that. It's a real passion project for most of the companies out there. Like, so what was your guys' drive to push out this amazing product?
I think there's a lot of good that can come out of it. I think that we've been talking a lot about the stigma around cannabis and around edibles in general, and I think that our product really does help kind of bridge that stigma, and with the reality of this is a good product that can help a lot of people.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that use it for good, and this is a delivery system to use it for that good, and to be able to spread that word and to be able to be a delivery vehicle within that, to produce products that are safe, they're tasty, they're exciting and inviting to everyone, and they allow anybody of any type of experience, whether they're super experienced within the cannabis field or like never even looked into it, that choice and that ability to choose your own path is really what has really curated our journey and made us come up with choices.
Yeah, it's such like a personalized approach, because like you said, even if you've never had any experience with this, you could try something small, and then if you are like consume a lot more, you can just stack it up and like basically have an entire meal.
Yeah.
which is really awesome. So I know we spoke about your positions before, like you came to All About Choices, but what are you looking forward to, like specifically like for the brand? Anything upcoming you can talk about?
I think just launching.
Yeah, getting it in people's
Getting it out,
hands.
yeah.
Getting it in people's hands.
That must be really exciting, but also like nerve wracking because you just want to like get there.
Tedious process.
It is, yeah. You know, we've been working on this. It feels like a decade.
Yeah, and we want to do it right. We want, because it's such a curated product and because we want it to be approachable to everyone, we want everything out there. We want everything out there, and we want it to be done in a approachable way to the consumer. We want anyone to be able to walk to a dispensary and be able to afford it, be able to choose whatever they want, be able to find a product they like. And that's hard. It's hard to find.
It's hard to find a product that you like in a dispensary in general.
So excited to get it in people's hands.
Yeah. Also something that's affordable too, because that's a big point. I feel like when you walk into a dispensary, I mean, you're spending a lot of money, and like half the time you might not even like it. So to find something that's affordable, that's like, okay, cool, I can try that because it's not going to break my bank right now.
Right. And especially with edibles, because everything is, you know, these 100 milligram packs, that price tag starts to add up.
Definitely.
And since we are single serve, you know, you're not paying for the 100 milligrams. You know that you're only going to pay for
especially because people don't realize like your price point is driven by the amount of milligrams of THC you purchase. And with the markets driven by high THC contents in cannabis, and bud tenders, basically a lot of them are trained to push price points and not necessarily what's best for the consumer. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that with this product, especially, like I like the bundle idea. Is it just going to be sold in bundles, or could you buy like the individual ones?
The bundles will be retail, and then you'll be able to have a menu-like option where you're able to explore all the products and buy them at retail as well. So you can buy a bundle, which you'll get 10 plus products at a great rate. Or if you are not there yet, and you specifically only want to get 1,000 Island salad dressing, and you explore that and you want to, you're welcome to do that.
It's like a grocery store. That's great. It's like so customizable. You can get literally whatever you want. You can just try, what was it? You guys like have ketchup and hot sauce. That's wild. That's like, it's so funny because I'm going to have to get that one for my sister because she's literally the girl that she puts that shit on everything. Literally hot sauce on every single thing.
Oh yeah. It's like definitely like we keep naming like product and use after use here. Like on the list, like how many individual products do you guys have in total?
So we'll be launching with over 80.
Over 80 products.
And
wow.
Everything on that list you see in front of you will be in launch.
Yeah. And there's probably another over 80 that I am
working on.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like I don't know if you guys will be able to see that list on the camera there, but it's a
full menu.
Full menu and hefty list there to keep you occupied and give you as many choices as you want.
What's your favorites?
Yeah, if you guys had to pick one each, what's
my
your
favorite
favorites?
is probably within our spice category. I really love the chili flakes because I like to put them on my pizza.
That sounds good.
Those are like my ultimate. I love those, and the freeze pops.
Yeah, my favorite. You guys tried one of my favorites. It's the tropical citrus pot spots. I really wanted a good pop rock. I came to Casey. I said, we have to do a good pop rock. I love like that nostalgic feel, the sour sweetness.
Oh yeah, nothing really reminds you more of like being a kid than like pop rocks.
Absolutely. So that is my like favorite product. But I also really love the soups. I grew to love the soups.
That's funny.
And it's so funny because who would have thought? But the soups are convenient because let's say you need a quick lunch, or like you're going to an event, you're going out with friends and you don't have time to have dinner. And you're going to hang out. Just put the soup, add some water, drink it. It's great.
Heat up some water,
make mashed potatoes.
Pack it, there you go. Done.
Make it easier. So like all the, like our mixes, our food mixes are really, I love them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what I was going to ask before is those are your favorites. What were the most popular again? I think you said that the soups, right?
And mashed potatoes.
That's wild.
Because all you do is add water.
Yeah.
And people love an easy.
And people love it. Especially stoners love an easy.
Oh my God. And it's delicious.
Quick meal. Especially one that tastes good.
We'll make it for you right after this. It's very good.
Yeah.
I will say it's very good.
Definitely. We'll definitely try. So like, where do you guys want to see All About Choices go? Like in the future? Like where do you want
What's the goal, the dream?
See the company go?
I think the goal and the dream is to give the choice to everybody, like wherever it's legal, wherever we're able to be able to be incorporated into people's lives and to add that positiveness into their lives through our products, to be able for them to create a solution for them, you know, and to create an easy way for them to consume and to, you know, we have so much going on in our lives, and to take away that hassle out of somebody's life.
I think also to, in the industry and overall, to kind of help normalize the cannabis use, right? You know, we want you to be able to insert it into your everyday life, and doing that helps remove the stigma.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that especially drinks, food, like that's such an easy way to incorporate it and make it seem normal, because who's not eating or drinking? You know what I'm saying? Like everyone has to eat and drink. So that's a great way to incorporate it every day. And then also like some more like fun stuff too.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting just to look at trends of, you know, alcohol consumption, and you look at Gen Z specifically. They're not consuming alcohol in the ways that the rest of us have been, which I think is amazing and fantastic. And to say like, oh, instead of doing Jello shots at this house party, let's make some Jello with
Get the
weed
Jello mix.
and do
Yeah,
some
get the Jello mix.
shots.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I definitely think it's going to help change like that mindset and like break that stigma. And I can't wait to try them. Now I'm like, all I'm doing is staring at this menu. I'm like, oh my God, there's literally everything on here, like barbecue sauce, coffee.
Like we're definitely gonna be trying some of these after the show. But yeah, so like, what was your guys' like first? I always like asking, like, what's your guys' first experience with cannabis? Was it a positive one, a negative one that scared you away, then like you came back to it?
It was positive. It was actually not that long ago. I didn't consume for a very long time. I just knew very little about it. I didn't really have a stigma about it. I just really didn't think about it.
Okay,
honestly.
yeah.
It was in 2018, 2019 maybe. And I was on vacation in the Caribbean, and my partner at the time saw some guy walking down the beach and asked him if he would sell us some weed. He was a heavy consumer, and so we were laying on the beach, and we, you know, lit up this joint. And I took a little nap, and I remember I could feel the waves crashing in my mind like a piano playing. It was really positive. It was a great experience.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, oh,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
great.
beautiful, and I feel so fantastic right now.
Yeah, when you're in like a safe space, like with someone that you can trust, like that's like really important. Because I feel like if you have a negative experience, like then you're just gonna keep thinking like that, you know, until a product or someone can help change your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think growing up in Israel, then moving to the States and being, you know, Midwest South, did not have much experience with cannabis.
Oh, yeah.
But I think during the pandemic, I came out to California to see some family and friends, and ended up trying a few gummies out here and being open up to the world. I didn't even know that there was edibles. And I didn't even know, it was like very, very, like right when the pandemic started, and I was kind of stuck in California, and I was like, I didn't even know this thing existed, because I think there's also such a large part of education. You know, there's a huge part of the States that doesn't even know these products are out there.
Oh no, yeah, definitely.
People have
not.
no idea.
Yeah.
So, and I was never a drinker, so I could never find something that was appealing to me. And I was like, wait, this is nice. Like I'm enjoying it. I like it. I'm having a great time. And I think that's when it opened up my eyes to it of like, this is a great product that makes me very happy. And I haven't found a downside, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's like we have friends that live in rural parts of very southern states that are like in the Bible Belt and all that, and they visited dispensaries for like their first time in like this year, and they're like, we didn't know how classy or how many different ways cannabis can be consumed.
They like
because like they would like send us pictures of like, hey, check out like this gravity water bottle bong I made out of like a socket, and like I got a socket around. I'm like, bro, you can't do that.
Yeah, we're getting you an actual bong.
We walk into classy establishments that have, I mean, like there's dispensaries that are gorgeous out there. And
Oh my god,
the art,
beautiful ones. There's a beautiful one right down the road.
Even now the consumption lounges. There's so many consumption
yeah,
lounges.
those are cool.
It's so cool to like see one of the most exciting parts about me entering this industry and like why I chose to, you know, I came from the retail world. That's a very established world. And I was like, do I make the change? Do I take the leap? And it's this market growth. To watch something you truly care about expand and being able to be a part of that is crazy.
Well, that's a great note to end off on. So where can consumers find all about Choices? Where can they learn more information?
Go on Instagram, choices.la. Online, it's allaboutchoices.us, and you'll get some updates there.
Any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to our team.
Yeah,
We love
they're
them.
a fantastic team.
And thank you to our sponsors, 710 and Hemper.
710 Hemper for supplying all great things for the show. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank
for
you,
having
guys.
us.
Thank you for bringing
Had a
these
blast.
awesome products. I love trying them. Definitely going to keep doing that.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to sit back, try some of these products, break into more of the 710 stuff with you guys maybe, and let's have a great rest of the day. So let's head out.
Thanks, guys. Stay happy, healthy, and high.
You're listening to Hayes Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio. You're listening to Hayes Radio Network.